Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you all for coming tonight. My name is Sandy Golding and I'm president of Beaches Watch, and we're glad to have everyone here for the At-Large Candidate Forum tonight. I want to ask you before we get started, please turn your cell phones off or put them on vibrate so they don't disturb the candidates tonight while they're speaking. I want to thank you for coming tonight, and I also want to thank the candidates for being here tonight. In case you don't know about our organization, Beaches Watch is a nonpartisan, nonprofit civic organization, and we were founded in 2004. Our mission is to educate and engage citizens in the decisions that are being made that affect our beaches communities of Atlantic Beach, Jacksonville Beach, and Neptune Beach. We do not endorse candidates, and since 2004 we have been hosting candidate forums like this to help educate Beaches voters before they vote, so Beaches voters can make an informed decision. Before you leave, we encourage you to go by the Beaches Watch table, get some information about our organization, consider joining our organization. It's just a small fee, but the fee helps to support the things that we're doing. And we hope you'll sign up for our e-newsletter so that you can get information about events that we're having. We do have monthly meetings with speakers that are talking about topics that are relevant and important to the beaches. And I hope you all got a program tonight when you came in. Has some information on it that we hope you'll take with you and that will help you. Okay, Eileen has got the programs here. If somebody didn't get one, she can get one for you. And as an added service, we have posted additional information on our website. You can go to beacheswatch.com. You'll see that we have the candidates' websites listed, as well as responses to a questionnaire that the candidates responded to regarding issues, beaches issues. And we will also be posting the video from tonight's forum on our website as well. Now, the forum format tonight is that it's going to last about an hour. We will have the candidates start out with opening statements, and then they will respond to questions, and then we'll have closing statements. We will have 2 minutes for everything, for the opening statements, questions, and the closing statements. If you would like to propose a question for the candidates, there is a question card that Sharon has here. You can fill out the question card and get it back to one of our volunteers. If we have time, we will include your question. But, you know, we do have a limited amount of time, so we may not be able to ask questions, all the questions that have been submitted. But when the candidates are through with the forum portion, they will stay here for about 45 minutes to answer any questions that you have. They do have candidate tables here with literature on them, and you can pick up the literature, talk to them one-on-one. So let me introduce tonight's candidates. First of all, with At-Large Group 1, we have Anna Lopez-Brochet, and her opponent, as you can tell, her opponent, Kimberly Daniels, is not here. At-Large Group 3, we have Tommy Hazuri and Jeff Youngblood. Then with At-Large Group 5, we have Samuel Newby and Jacoby Pittman. We will be rotating the order that the candidates respond to the questions tonight, and we will start with Anna Brochet. She will start with opening statements, and she will have 2 minutes.
Very good. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you to Beaches Watch and for the Jacks Beach Elementary PTA for putting tonight on. I'm Anna Lopez-Brochet. I'm 42. I'm a Jacksonville native, and I'm a Filipino American. While I spent most of my childhood and grew up on the west side, I spent 8 years of my childhood living in other cities because my dad served in the United States Navy. And I was very happy to return home when I didn't have to move around anymore and earn my bachelor's and master's degrees in accounting from the University of North Florida. I am managing partner of a thriving 35-person CPA firm here in town, and I lead our audit, or financial statement audit practice. On the family front, I'm married to Lieutenant Commander Dave Brochet, who's here tonight, and we have a blended family of 3 children. In the community, I've really enjoyed serving, whether it's mentoring business owners on how to use their financial statements to create jobs, or by serving as board chair of United Way and impacting lives through education, income, and health initiatives. And so all of these things about me have one common theme, and that's service. I learned to serve as a child in the military. I continue that service as a military wife. And I serve my clients, my employees, and my community every single day. And now I've made the choice to serve my hometown in a much larger way by running for and serving on City Council. And so I am here to ask for your vote, Anna Lopez Brochet, for At-Large Group 1. Thank you.
My name is Jeff Youngblood. I am running for City Council At-Large Group 3. That'll include the Beaches and Baldwin and all of Duval County. It's overwhelming because it appears to be like running for mayor without the money. Quite frankly, I rise to the task to run for City Council. I've been in business in Jacksonville for 20 years. I reside in Mandarin. I've been married for 20 years. My wife Debbie's here with me tonight. My mother and father are here with me tonight, and thankful to have them with me. You know, Jacksonville, to get straight into the issues, because that's why we're here. I can tell you who I am and what I've done. I've created thousands of jobs in Jacksonville. I sell in 22 different states in the Southeast industrial tools. Government does not create jobs. Businesses create jobs. 68% of the income in this city comes from small business owners. 80% of the employment, small business owners. So my focus as I stand to run for City Council and seek to serve you on City Council is to hold City Council accountable for the resources that we receive. These businesses that I represent, and also the men and women of faith that I represent, I do this because leadership is so necessary in our city. Since jobs are created by small business owners, and my focus will be on small business, I seek to encourage the growth of small business. How do we do that? For years we've been spending millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to encourage big business to come to the city. Big business would want to come to the city if the small businesses were thriving. And if the small businesses are thriving, then 80% of the employment that is provided by those small business owners, they will have jobs. To have jobs increases the population. To increase the population is to increase the tax base. To solve our problems, they're not to raise the taxes, increase the tax base, shared responsibility. That's how we can operate together. Again, my name is Jeff Youngblood. I am running for City Council At-Large Group 3, and I seek to serve you if you so choose to vote for me. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tommy Hazuri, and for those who don't know me, you may have moved to the beach recently. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. Lived above my parents' grocery store and grew up with my mom and dad and my 3 older brothers in the grocery business. From there, I learned what it's like to have a personal relationship with their customers, to serve their customers. That's what I've always wanted to do all of my life. I graduated from all our local schools, graduated from Jacksonville University, where I was privileged to serve as student body president, was alumni director there, and ran for the legislature where I served representing the beaches. All of my legislative career, we started off as a multi-member district with Andrew Crenshaw, myself, Maddox Hare, Earl Dixon, and Steve Padgett and others. But then we became single-member districts. Afterwards, I ran for mayor and was very fortunate and honored to have been elected mayor of Jacksonville. From there, we did a lot. We did create businesses. In 4 years, some 38,000 jobs. Small businesses and large businesses, bringing a number of businesses here, keeping Maxwell House in Jacksonville, getting rid of those onerous tolls that we had here for so many years, cleaning our air, representing the beaches, putting a new emergency facility out here for the beaches, adding our senior center, the Benny Furlong Center as it's called today, a number of things, helping with the ferry down here. It's something I'm very proud of. My son Tommy Jr. is living here at the beach. He teaches at Kernan Elementary School, coaches a soccer team at the middle school. His fiance Danny's here. My wife of 36 years, Carol Hazuri, is a retired school teacher after 43 years. I understand Jacksonville. I'm running for one reason only, and that is we need experience now more than ever. With 10 vacancies on the city council, We need someone to move Jacksonville forward, no matter who the mayor is. On that council, we have a lot to do beyond pensions, beyond the HRO, beyond the other things that we're dealing with today, to move Jacksonville and to build Jacksonville for yourselves and for your families. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Sam Newby, and I'm running for City Council Group 5 at Large. I'm a lifelong citizen of Jacksonville, and the first thing I want to say is that I am a Christian, and don't mind saying it.
Amen.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a lifelong Jacksonvillian. I've been with the Pepsi-Cola company for over 30 years, the #1 soft drink company in the world. Well, I have done many jobs. Right now I serve as the senior manager for Pepsi, and I'm also on the Diversity Council. Let me tell you a little bit about my family. My beautiful mother's right here. She actually looked like my sister. She's right over here, Miss Mildred Brown. She taught me the hard work and the Christian value, what it's going to take me to lead Jacksonville, and I just want to thank her. Also, I have my beautiful fiance, my childhood sweetheart. I had to wait 35 years before we'll be getting married in a couple of months, so I'm also patient. Wait 35 years for it. And let me tell you a little bit about my community background. I've been working in the community for over 20 years. I've been a coach. And actually tonight, one of the kids that I coach is going to be drafted in the NFL tonight. He's going to be in the first round. I'm a member of the YMCA, and not only I coached at the YMCA, I went to the YMCA. I also served as chairman of the YMCA for 4 years. Also, I'm the former vice president of the Republican Party of Duval County, only the second African American in over 100 years. I love this city, and I have the passion to lead the city for generations on. Sam Newby, City Council, Group 5 at Large. Thank you.
Good evening. How's everyone? First of all, it is indeed an honor for me to be here tonight, so you all can get an opportunity to know me up close and personal. My name is Jacoby Pittman, and I am the CEO and president of the Clara White Mission. I've been there for the past 22 years, making a difference in the community. I am a champion not only for individuals that are struggling, but I am a champion for Jacksonville. I'm in this race is because I care. I want to be at the table and not on the menu. I want to represent your concerns. I want you to know that I am a friend of the beaches. To tell you a little bit about my background, when I started at the mission 22 years ago, I started with a budget of $295,000 and a staff of 5, and that included myself. Fast forward to today, I have a staff of 32 and a budget of 2.1. I tell you this because I want you to know that I'm savvy. I'm an individual that thinks out of the box. I think it's important that we develop initiatives to work together. I'm interested in also representing the nonprofits in the community. How many of you all know that the nonprofit in the human services is the 3rd largest employer in Jacksonville? Did y'all know that? Most people don't know that. You know why? Because we're so busy doing good. But I want to do good for the beaches. I want you to know that I'm on top of everything. I know some of the issues in the community, and those issues that I'm not savvy on, I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you to call me, to let me know what's going on, and to be a part of the beaches. I think it's important that we promote Jacksonville. You know, when we talk about Jacksonville, what are the first things we talk about? Well, the beaches. The beaches and golf. And so I like both of those. And so I want you to know that I will be your champion. And I'm asking you for your vote tonight. And I hope that you have done your homework on me to know that I have proven experience. I've started programs that change people's lives. And that's what I want to do on City Council.
Okay, the first question is going to be to Mr. Youngblood. You started with the opening statement, so you can sit down. The first question, and everybody will answer this question, but we're going to start with Mr. Youngblood first. If elected, what do you want to accomplish in the next 4 years?
I want to accomplish to prioritize our spending. Our city does not have a revenue problem, it has a spending problem. As you see recently in the paper, and I'm thankful for Laura Boyer and Councilman Gulliford here tonight, many of our city leaders, $500 million, $583 million, they say 73 million of that is liquid. These are capital improvement projects that I spoke of in previous debates that I was laughed to scorn that there's no way there's hundreds of million dollars in the weeds. We've just found $583 million. These are capital improvement projects that, for instance, if a swimming pool was being installed that cost $200,000 to be installed and there was an overage because it was put in for $150,000, there's $50,000 of overage sitting there. These projects are all over the city, and when the capital improvement project is funded, you can't spend the money anywhere else. So I want to focus on prioritizing our spending. How do we do that? This is outlined in the framework of the city charter. The city charter has the general services district, is 2.04. This is the priority of our city, is to spend the money, streets, drainage, public safety, libraries, and all of these issues are requirement of government. These things have not been the priority, so I want to prioritize our spending is the #1 issue. Then we have to immediately focus on the pension issue, and then we go into public safety, and this all hinge on one another of having accountability. I bring accountability. It's something in business that I had to do with a budget and a balance sheet with employees that are hired and fired and handling the daily business operations. These are decisions you have to make. Some people may not like the outcome of the decision, but they're decisions you have to make, and leadership makes tough decisions regardless of the outcome.
Thank you, and I'm going to use a couple of my minutes. Even though they're not here, as a former elected official, I want to recognize Scott Wiley, Councilman Wiley, and Councilman Bill Gulliford, who are here this evening. They do a great job for this community and certainly for the city. My top priorities, I mentioned pensions a while ago. I think that's going to get resolved. I chaired that committee in the legislature for 10 of my 12 years before I chaired the K-12 House Education Committee. I understand our Florida retirement system. I understand what a pension system is, and I think that they're finally coming to meeting of the minds between the pension fund, the city council, and the mayor. The other issue, the main issue, I think, as we go into this, and you'll see it now on some of my commercials, but I've been touting this for a long, long time, is our public safety in our neighborhoods. More police officers in our neighborhoods here at the beaches as well as all over Jacksonville, Florida. That is our top priority. If you don't feel safe at night, you're not going to be able to address the other important issues that we have today, and that is education. You want to make sure that we have a quality higher education and K-12 education system in Jacksonville, public, private, and parochial. And of course, economic development. Deepening the port, keeping our natural resource to St. John's River at in a position where it's not going to hurt the from the dredging. It's not going to be provide any kind of intrusion that's going to damage the St. John's River, but instead hopefully improve it. Those are the three major issues in Jacksonville. But if you're not safe at night, ladies and gentlemen, and I talk to senior citizens all over Jacksonville, that is their #1 priority. They're afraid to go out at night because they don't know what's going to happen to them. We need to put back in Mayor Payton's position that he had with the Jacksonville Journey. The community police on the streets, more police officers on the streets, and in addition to that, something that's dear to my heart because of the education background I have, dear to me, is saving our children. The at-risk children is part of that program, and we need to address that again. Thank you.
I have three major focuses. The first focus is community safety. We got to keep our city safe because people wouldn't want to come to live to Jacksonville if we don't keep our city safe. You know, my heart goes out when I see the young men and even young women that create all this crime. But the first thing we got to do, we got to have more mentors, so they can see role models. I can give you a good example. I remember when I was the chairman of Hawaii, and I had a young man. He was doing some things that he shouldn't have done, and I stepped in between. He said, "Well, you don't understand." He said, "Because you're the chairman." I said, "Son, I used to be you 20 years ago." So that's the key thing, community safety. Let's be proactive instead of reactive. We got to touch our kids. The second thing is education. We got to have education not for just one side of town, but for every side of town, including the beaches. That's the only way Jacksonville is going to move to the next level. And the next thing is small business development. We got to have great small business development. And what I'm going to do when I become city council, I'm going to put together a task force in each district, not district, of each side of town, so they can tell me how we can move Jacksonville to the next level of small business. And the last thing, pension. We got to tackle that. But the one thing I want to say about pension is, you know, I'm kind of in the same situation. I've been with Pepsi for 30 years, and in a couple of years I'm going to pop and retire. So I would hate for Pepsi-Cola to come to me and say, you know what, we got to change the pension process. So I believe if you look a person in the eye and you say, this is what they're going to get, we need to work to make sure that our firefighters get what they deserve. Thank you.
To me, what's important is to get the pension resolved. The pension has a lot of moving parts, and I think it's important that we honor their agreement. You know, it's important that we also have the quality of life in Jacksonville, but we cannot move forward until we resolve that issue. You know, Councilman Gulliford and several of the other members have some ideas, and you know, I'm of the method to listen to some of those ideas that can make a difference in our community and provide a quality of life. Secondly is crime. Crime is way up. And as a part of that, we got to have some innovative programs to help neighborhoods. One, we see a lot of our youth involved in crime. A lot of them are involved in crime because programs have been taken out of the neighborhood. The Jacksonville journey has been a part of improving communities, but a lot of centers have been closed. The kids that are creating the crimes, or even adults, are kids from, you know, middle school to high school. There's nothing for them to do. We have a lot of prevention programs from kindergarten to elementary school. So I like to advocate and have a voice to provide funding for that area. Third is neighborhoods. You know, all we want is to take our neighborhoods back and invest back into our neighborhoods, beautification. So I would say economic development. We have the Downtown Investment Authority. We need to take the handcuffs off of them and give them an opportunity to bring economic development to Jacksonville. So we will have an opportunity where Jacksonville is a metropolitan city that is making money by attracting businesses that are familiar with Jacksonville and would like an opportunity to grow their business here.
I knew in 11th grade that I was going to be an accountant. And it doesn't feel like work because it's a perfect fit for my personality. So when you ask what I want to accomplish, especially after here months and certainly within the last days of hearing about our financial house not being in order, I would like to bring my financial and auditing skills to City Hall and to be a part of asking the questions that aren't being asked and challenging the things that we're doing, making sure that we're getting a return on investment. I've spent my entire 20-plus year career in accounting and auditing and want to make sure that we are being transparent. When you know the budget, you know what's happening in our city. Where the money moves, that is what's happening. And when you know how that moves and you understand how to follow it, then you can impact what's happening in the city. I audit pensions now as a part of my audit practice, so I too understand pensions and want to get that behind us because we can't really talk about all of the other things and the opportunities that we're seeing in our community, and we're right there on the cusp of moving into a lot of that. We've got to get our pension challenges fixed in order to do that. I'm also the creator and champion of my firm's 13 Best Places to Work Awards. And that's a function of communication and vision. And so within the community, I'd like to make sure that we're communicating with all of our community partners, our elected officials in our beaches communities, make sure that we are serving and providing everything that we should be as a county, and making sure that we're also setting a vision. And for me, that's about being the healthiest city in the United States. And so I'll be picking projects and opportunities that can help move us toward being the healthiest city in the United States.
With this next question, we're going to start with Mr. Missouri. And the question is, there has been a proposal to have a dedicated tax increase to fund the Jacksonville pension deficit. All 3 beaches communities fund their own pensions. How would you ensure the beaches get their fair share of the tax increase to put toward their own pension funds? If you do not support a tax increase, what is your plan to resolve the pension problem?
That's why Bill Gulliver's here this evening.
Yeah.
Let me, one more time, Jerry, you blend in the crowd. Jerry Holland, our supervisor of elections, going into being the new project director. First of all, there's only, and I'll get before to the beaches, because I haven't discussed anything, and I want to work, and I have a reputation of doing that as mayor and as a legislator, to work with the beaches city officials, especially the mayors, and Jim Jarbo, of course, was y'all's councilman when I was mayor, along with Mayor Gulliver when he was in Atlantic Beach as mayor. You only have 3 choices on funding right now as it goes in, unless they come up with some magical solution. One is a sales tax, one is the JEA proposal that Matt Carlucci and I think Charlie Weatherby came up with, and the third one is a property tax increase. If we get to that point, then of course y'all are going to have to be involved. We've got the interlocal agreement, and I don't know how that fits in with what we would be doing anytime. When we removed the tolls from our bridges, we did the half-cent sales tax. Everybody was a part of that, but it wasn't on one city or one individual. It was on visitors and everyone alike. So I think that's going to be the tougher question. Is there an issue there between the beaches and Baldwin, the 4 urban service districts, and the city of Jacksonville? I think the important thing is that they're looking now at funding. In passing this bill, they're going to have a funding mechanism in it. I don't think it can pass without that today. And how the beaches will fit in, I think, is going to be determined by the recommendations of the President City Council, with the mayor, with Bill Gulliford. I'm not putting it all on his back, but from the beaches' participation. My whole ideal is to work with the beaches. That is what I've always done all of my life. I'm not going to ever shortchange the beaches or their residents. I never have, and I won't ever do that. I think y'all are a star in North Florida's crown, and we can talk about some of the issues that impact y'all down here, but I think that it's going to be a working relationship with me on the city council, and making sure that the mayor does the same thing, and that nobody's going to be left behind. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge probably the best city council this side of helping my friend Bill Gulliver. And also, I know the very best supervisor of election, my friend Jerry Holland. Let's give him a hand. Well, I think the city council have done a good job moving forward towards the pension. But if for some reason they don't pass and it falls in our laps, the first thing we have to do, we have to drill down, because a lot of people don't know that the money was there. But the city of Jacksonville borrowed $385 million from the pension fund, and also made some bad investment with a total of $586 million. So first of all, if I become city council, when I become city council, I'm going to ask for a 90-day audit to find out where the money is there. Because I believe the money is there. If the money's not there, then naturally we might have to do a tax would probably be a sales tax. Being a conservative Republican, I hate that word, but we may have to do it. And I believe that the beaches should get their fair share, because just like Mr. Zuri said, the beaches is the crown jewel of Jacksonville. So that's my proposal. Thanks.
Sam, you know the money is not there.
Well, the money was there.
Well, I would say, earlier I mentioned we got to come up with, $40 million over the next 10 years. And unfortunately, all the work that have gone into putting a plan together, unfortunately, it didn't pass. So we got to go back to the drawing board. I feel that it's important that we all have some skin in the game. When Jacksonville was rolling in dough, we were able to afford the pension plan. Right now, individuals are living longer, they're working longer, and we don't have the money to do what we need to do. We talked about the formula, we talked about a 3-year plan, we talked about a 5-year plan, we talked about a 10-year plan. But we have to go back and look at the assumptions and how it's affecting our community. And the only way that we can do that is that we have to partner, we have to collaborate. Being able to talk to the municipalities at the beaches and in Baldwin. I was at a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and the residents and the businesses that are in Baldwin, they feel like they've been left behind. One of the things, when I become a city councilwoman, I want to make sure that we are inclusive and that we're including all of our outlying counties, as well as the beaches and Baldwin and Jacksonville. Together, we are stronger. Together, we are more visible. Together, we can develop economic development and raise the dollars that we need. We will either have to entertain or look at either a sales tax or a millage or a combination of that to fill the gap and be able to provide the quality of life that we need to.
Well, I would like to applaud Councilman Delaford for the proposal that he made this week from a legislation perspective to get some of these benefits, not benefit reductions, but some of these savings that we have identified in the process of things going back and forth between City Council and the Police and Fire Pension Board locked in and working for us now. Instead of waiting for when we have a funding source. I go back to me bringing my skills and finding a way, looking for the numbers, turning over every rock, and finding a way to make sure that we are challenging what it is that we're spending where before we go to anybody and ask for more money. I want to make sure that we honor our men and women in uniform in terms of the promises that we made, and also honor us as taxpayers of the process. I appreciate you asking the question about the beaches funding your own pensions and being a part of, and being asked to be a part of the solution, and for what. And those are the kinds of questions that we need to make sure that when we are making decisions that have an impact on everyone, that we understand the follow through and make sure that we're not double dipping, and that we are being fair to whomever, to all of our county, and how it is that we're coming up with a solution. So in terms of digging and finding, I think I really need to, I have a duty to make sure that I do that with my skill set, and then determine where we go after that.
I believe the question was, how do we solve it without raising taxes, and how is it going to negatively impact the beaches? The interlocal agreement that's currently in place was a settlement because of a 1979 lawsuit from the beaches to the city of Jacksonville because you weren't getting what you paid for already. Quite frankly, there needs to be accountability. That 1982 document then was updated in 1996, and that interlocal agreement spells out the requirements of the city of Jacksonville and what we're supposed to apply to the beaches. Working with Mayor Latham, with Mayor Pruitt, and with Mayor Woods, this is something that's so important to make sure we solve this without being a burden to the beaches, because it's our pension program for our employees, and you have your own department and your own pension programs. What I said previously in dealing with the pension problem, it's a $40 million unfunded 40% funded, a $1.6 billion unfunded liability. If that money in 2005 had been in there that the city of Jacksonville borrowed over $300 million, which by the way is scattered across in these capital improvement projects that we've just found at the $583 million, that money we need to work, how do we put it back? If at the time it was borrowed from the pension plan because we were overperforming and it was overfunded, over the $40 million minimal contribution, so the money was pulled out, spent elsewhere. How do we get it back? How do we rein in this wild spending? The criteria of the city charter spells out how we're supposed to spend our money. The police and firefighters were offered this 30-year agreement. We signed it in 2001. We're 15 years into it, and now we say the agreement's no good. Now, Judge Beverly, with the ruling right now we have, is it a constitutional, is it okay to have a 30-year agreement, or should it be a 3-year agreement? No, we shouldn't raise taxes to solve the problem. Yes, the resources are there. We've just seen when we found them. Spend our money appropriately and hold government accountable for the tax dollars that we receive.
This next question, we're going to start with Mr. Newby. And the question is, the Jacksonville Beach Pier is owned by the city of Jacksonville. As of late, it has fallen into disrepair and neglect. Funding is a problem. What would you propose to fund its operation and needed capital improvements?
Well, first of all, I think back many years ago when I used to go to the pier with my dad and my siblings, and it was a beautiful, beautiful pier. I remember my sister fishing on it. I really didn't fish, and we just really enjoyed it. Now, the pier is not where it should be. So definitely, I want Jacksonville to fund that and fix it and make it where it should be, because a lot of people don't know that pier is probably the largest pier on the East Coast. So I'm definitely for funding it and making it like it was before, a beautiful pier. Kind of like, it's not the crown jewel, but the jewel of the beaches.
You know, the pier is a part of the beaches. And I feel that it's imperative that we find, whether it's local money or federal money, to repair the beaches. You know, everything that's going on in our community right now costs money. And we have to figure out a way to prioritize those things that we want to support. You know, the pier is almost just like the ferry. You know, it's a part of the community. And the pier is an opportunity for not only funding to come from the beaches, but from Jacksonville as well. And so I would support, you know, looking for an opportunity to locate, you know, either new ideas or funding mechanisms. It's a hard sell, you all. You know, working with Mayor Pruitt, you know, who is also an advocate, and Mr. Gulliver, Councilman Gulliver, to identify funding to repair the pier. I mean, it's just that important, and I think it is a priority for us to find the dollars to repair the pier.
I, too, support the fact that the pier is one of the things that people come to our community and use as a judge of our community, and we attract people through visiting the beaches when they come here. And so it sounds as if the state of the pier, there's a risk management question to it as well. Yeah. And I bet Councilman Gulliford is in line for that net $50 million that we just found that could be spent on capital improvement projects this week. And we absolutely need to make sure that we fund not only its improvement, the capital improvement piece of it, but from an operational perspective, because it does serve the entire community. The entire community uses it, and we need to take care of our assets just like a number of other things. And it is about priorities, and it is a priority to our community.
Comes down to accountability. This is our requirement. I can't tell you that I'm going to do something for you that's not outlined by the city charter. I swear an oath to you to defend the Constitution of the United States of America, the laws of the state of Florida, and the ordinance code of the city of Jacksonville. The interlocal agreement spells out exactly what we're supposed to do. We should not be taking advantage of the beaches by not allowing the resources to flow to the beaches just like they do at the landing. These are resources that we've captured through our tax dollars and we spend efficiently. The millage rate shouldn't be increased because, quite frankly, the city of Jacksonville, the Jacks Beach, Neptune Beach, and Atlantic Beach, you're paying the lion's share. Your millage rate is through the roof in comparison per capita of all the taxing authorities through the city of Jacksonville. But you aren't getting the resources you deserve. Why? It's out of sight, out of mind. It happens around our home. It happens in our businesses. We need to give attention to the beaches. I'm not saying that because I'm here at the beaches. I'm saying that because that's our charter responsibility. The agreement that was signed, you shouldn't have to sue the city to get them to understand this agreement. And that's what took place in '79. And then '82 was the agreement. And then in '96, another lawsuit. And then another agreement. You should not have to sue your own city to get the resources that you paid in to provide for the docks, the bridges, the pier, the resources that we've already collected have been misappropriated. We've spent elsewhere. We have criteria, we have priority, we need to put our priorities back in order, put our financial house back in order, and hold government accountable for all the resources that have been collected through our tax dollars.
I keep hearing this term misappropriated, and in all due respect to my former colleagues, first let me address the pier. I think the pier, and I'm a user of the pier. My son, I still haven't, since the election, I haven't had a chance to take my little wagon out to the pier to fish with. How many of y'all use the pier today? Any of you here? Shame on you. That you do? I love going out here. I do. It's a destination to me, not just for Jacksonville's beaches, but also for the city of Jacksonville as well. When they were first building, I was talking to Sam Musa when he was the CAO of the city. I said, y'all need to put more money, more effort to make it a destination, not just a concrete facility to go out over the water for people to fish. It should be an entertainment center. It should be one of the jewels in that crown that I said that affects all of Northeast Florida. I want it to be a destination. I'm not saying this for y'all. I go there. I know what it can be like. I know what it is in Cocoa Beach. I know what it is in St. Petersburg. I know what it can be as a tourist attraction, as a moneymaker for all of Jacksonville, and something to look forward to other than saying going downtown or going to play golf or what have you. It is a beautiful facility that right now it's okay, but it can be a lot just in repair, but it should be renovated to the extent with city help, with the grants that we can get. I am totally, and I'm not saying this to patronize anybody here, I just know the value of that pier and how much I enjoy it, and it's a relaxing part for me. I get tired though of hearing from time to time, no accountability, all the money's in the budget, and they just need to go find it. You know, if it was, I value our city council, most of them. They know where those dollars are. The $500 million, and I'm not here to defend it, I know what it says. The $500 million has been appropriated correctly. What they found is since Mayor Austin's days, they found pockets of money that haven't been utilized, have been not spend as much on one project as the other, and it just is carried forward. You have $50 million, they've got 25 that they've committed to go into infrastructure, which we need. Street repair, pothole repairs, infrastructure repair, that $25 million is coming our way, thanks to the city council. Keeping in mind that the council started this study a year ago. It wasn't discovered by the press. It was discovered when they started digging into the budget. Thank you very much.
This next question, we're going to start with Ms. Pittman. And the question is, do you support the proposed dredging of the St. Johns River to 47 feet to accommodate Panamax ready ships? If so, how do you propose the dredging be funded?
Every question you ask has to do with what? Money. Well, I've had an opportunity to go around to several community meetings, and there's an opportunity and some risk to dredge the 7 feet that we need. But I feel in order for our port to grow and to be competitive, because right now, you know, we tend to pass Jacksonville. We actually, as the kids say, we have the juice to make it work. We just need the money to dredge. Jacksonville can be one of the largest port. When you think about when Panama opens, that we'll be able to provide additional jobs in our community. We'll be able to expand business in our community as well, and that's what we want. The Rodham Dam, it was a program that was a mistake. I feel at this point we need to just let it go in an effort to support the life of our river and to ensure that we have what we need. But again, I think the dredging is an opportunity that needs a little bit more work, a little bit more accountability, so that we know when we do that we will have jobs here in our community.
And I have a duty to evaluate every proposal that comes before our city to create jobs and to bring jobs to our community that we so badly need as a flourishing and growing community, which is what we want, to increase our tax base in the process and help share the load from a tax perspective. And for that reason, upon thorough evaluation of the risk-reward, the cost-benefit, and making sure that we do not overwhelmingly and to a burdensome level harm our natural assets, I do support dredging the river. In terms of how to pay for it, because there are jobs, because there is economic impact, both direct and indirect jobs from a port perspective, which needs to be evaluated, needs to be thoroughly considered, we should consider revenue bonds to pay for the project that would be paid for by the economic impact that the port dredging creates.
What's being discussed is should we dredge from 40 feet to 47 feet for 13 miles. It's going to be just under $800 million in cost. This is a tremendous cost. Where's the money going to come from? Quite frankly, we can do this economically and ecologically sensitive. The businesses that use it, I use the Port of Jacksonville. The resources that we sell through 22 different states in the southeast comes through the Jax Port. We would love for the Jax Port to be competitive so it doesn't go to Brunswick and it doesn't go to Charlotte and it doesn't go to other ports. We need it. The jobs that's directly affected is 10,000 jobs at the port. Something that is a resource, but the benefit is providing for small businesses and all the resources we use in our city. Now, right now, it's just under the $800 million mark. The federal government is going to take up all the way to the balance of $300 million left, $382 million, which has to be the responsibility of local government and state government. That responsibility falls on our shoulders. We can use this as a bonding agent with the businesses that use the port, much like mine. We're willing to pay an additional fee or cost for the cost of the port usage. With that being said, the resources that we have in the city, it's already a requirement to provide the critical infrastructure. This is critical infrastructure because it provides for our businesses, and it is the greatest economic engine in our city right now today. Second to that is small business. 68% of the income comes from small business owners. 80% of all the employment comes from small businesses. To keep them thriving, it is a requirement of government to provide all the critical resources and critical infrastructure, streets, drainage, libraries, parks, public safety, and drainage. All that has to be provided. It's a requirement, so we need to prioritize our spending and make sure that we spend it where we're supposed to.
I too am supportive of dredging the port and also the Rodman Dam and bringing that down so that we can have some fresh water coming in and to make sure that that balance is there. Our river, our St. Johns River is a national treasure for this country and of course for Jacksonville. Funding, you've heard some of the ideas that they've had, that's exactly right. The federal government, Kareem Brown and Crenshaw are working to bring more dollars to meet that $700 million cost has been anticipated, and they think that it is closer than it's ever been when they discuss what kind of dollars and how much it's going to cost. The revenue bonds are the answer to supplement what the city would be paying, and those will be from the users. The other side of that is the state continues to support us. They give money, they don't give it to us, but it's a formula that different ports throughout Florida and very competitive ports get a share of state revenue funds. So that's the way you would fund it. The important thing is that the port is our #1 economic engine. When we closed the shipyards here years ago when they left, I mean, that was a big money ticket for all of Jacksonville. It provided a lot of other jobs all over Jacksonville. Hopefully when Con or whomever develops the shipyards now and develops that waterfront, we're going to see those same kind of jobs created in a different fashion. But we need to deepen the port. Competition, Brunswick, Savannah, Tampa, Jacksonville is right among them, Miami, Charleston. That's our competition. It's like bringing other businesses here. We had to compete with Hoboken, New Jersey to keep Max in Jacksonville back when I was mayor. That was over 300 jobs, a $500 million industry that we had to fight because they were going to close one or the other, and we managed to save Jacksonville's Maxwell House Coffee Company. Great manufacturing jobs. It's here. I don't consider that a large business. It's a small business that continues to grow and continues to be the best smelling thing that we've ever had in Jacksonville because the smell we used to have couldn't compare to it. Thank you.
I'm definitely in support of the dredging because Jacksport is so very important to the city of Jacksonville. It provides great jobs, great paying jobs for the people here in Jacksonville. And actually, once we dredge, it's going to create more jobs. We'll bring in more taxes. It's just like Tom and the other ones said, that start with the federal government, then the bonding, and I think that it would be great. And one of the things that we can look at is removing the Rodman Dam. So the rivers from Palatka can flow with fresh water. So I'm definitely agree with you. And I encourage that we do dredge the river.
This next question, we're going to start with Ms. Brochet. And the question is, as an at-large representative, please be specific about the relationship you plan to have with the beaches and the Beaches City Council representative.
Okay. So as an at-large representative, it is our responsibility to serve as your county commissioners. You have elected leadership. You have your municipal governments here that do an outstanding job. And you have a wonderful representative in Councilman Gulliford who understands your needs, is driving progress for the beaches. And it's up to us to make sure that we are aware of the challenges and that we are working with your elected officials and our fellow councilmen to make sure that we're supporting progress on the council that needs to take place at a council level for the county. So in terms of the relationship, it's about coming to your council meetings and understanding. It's visiting, it's being present, it's showing up, it's communicating, it's sitting down with your mayors and making sure that we understand and we turn to the elected officials and Councilman Gulliford to be a part of understanding how we as county commissioners can be a help in the process. Awareness and communication.
There's 19 members of City Council in Jacksonville, Florida. Of the 19, 5 of them are at-large seats. Essentially, if you don't receive good representation from Jacksonville, Florida, through your representatives now, Councilman Bill Gulliford, you can call any of us 5 that get elected. That's a great opportunity of oversight because our responsibility to you is how your money is spent through the interlocal agreement. This interlocal agreement we have to operate with Mayor Latham, with Mayor Woods, and with Mayor Pruitt. Once we operate with them, and thanks to have Scott Wiley here with us tonight, and Kara Tucker, and many others that are serving with you in the beaches community, it's accountability. That's what we've been missing. You notice on the task force, when Laura Boyer chaired the task force, the recommendations were we need better communication. And we need better communication. That takes place in businesses, jobs, marriage, and any relationship that you have will fail without good communication. Accountability. You hold me accountable if I'm your elected representative, if you so choose me. If you don't receive recourse from your district representative, you contact me. We're to work in conjunction and harmony with good communication with your government.
I don't want to keep bringing it up, but again, as I mentioned at the beginning, experience now more than ever. I think I've demonstrated through my public service that I have listened and I have led dealing with the beaches in all of Jacksonville, as a legislator representing the beaches, as mayor, and even on the school board working with Nancy Bronner when I was serving there for 8 years. I think it's important that we look to the leadership first coming from the district councilman of all 14 of them. But my relationship with Jim Jarbo when he was on the council, with Bill Gulliford, even now, and I'm not even in an elected office, but even as a school board member, and when he was mayor, I think demonstrates that I will listen and I will lead. It's more than just the interlocal agreement. It's about what's good for Jacksonville and what's good for the beaches. If you're having a July 4th festival, for example, and you don't have enough police officers because of the safety problems that you may have, it's incumbent on us to provide the leadership to give you what you need in the police effort or any other effort, fire effort, or whatever we need to do to help the Jacksonville beaches. That's what we're about. It doesn't stop with the interlocal agreement. You can get sued all the time and decide that there's something you should be providing you're not getting. But you need a mayor that listens and leads, whomever the mayor is, to understand the beaches. You need a councilman. I know y'all don't have all the councilmen at large listening to the beaches. I hear that all the time. But I think the relationship is there. I want to provide that kind of relationship, working with the council, but also working with the 3 beaches mayors. And I have a great relationship. They know my support for the beaches, and that's the way I will be operating, listening and leading and providing those things that go beyond what an interlocal agreement is. I think the agreement should be that what's good for the beaches is good for Jacksonville. What's good for Jacksonville should be good for the beaches.
The first thing is relationships. You gotta have a good relationship. And hopefully I do have a good relationship with my friend, Councilman Gulliver. The second thing is communication. You gotta have good communication with the at-large councilman and the district councilman and even the beaches councilman and even with the mayors. That is the key. When I get elected, I'm gonna go to the beaches meetings, not to give my opinion, but to listen and learn. Because I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't know all the issues that we have out here in the beach, but I know the councilmen and the mayors do. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen. I'm going to learn. And I'm going to be attentive. Thanks.
Over the past 6 or 7 months or so, I have been attending several meetings at the beaches because I thought it was my priority to know the beaches, to know what some of the issues are, to know what you're saying. And some of the things that I've heard is that you want dialogue. You want to be able to communicate not only to your city councilman, but to your mayor as well. I will promise you that I will be a voice for you and that I will be involved in activities that are going on at the beach. This past Sunday, I had an opportunity to participate in the opening of the beaches. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Had an opportunity to meet several residents and business owners here as well. You can count on me because I'm one of those individuals that dig deep and I like to be involved. Over the last 30 years or so, that's where I've gotten my experience as well as an opportunity to make a difference. I want to be engaged. I want to come to the meetings, community meetings that you have here, as well as the municipality meetings that you have here, and meet with the mayors. that are here at the beaches. I think it's important that you continue to have dialogue, just not during campaign time. You know, that you want to be, I don't want you all to say, well, you know, Jacoby, the next time we're going to see you is when the next time the election. I promise you that I will be visible in your community, that I will have an open door policy, and that you will be able to contact me, and I will address your issues.
Because it's 8 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and start with the closing statements. So we will start with Mr. Youngblood, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Again, my name is Jeff Youngblood. I am running for City Council At-Large Group 3. I'd love to have your vote. What can you count on from me? Accountability. The resources that you entrust me with are the same resources that I provide through my business, through my family, and through the tax dollars that I work hard for. My paycheck that I spend in taxes, it goes to the core functions of government. We need accountability more than ever. We've had, as you see, poor oversight. If we've gone back 15 years and we found all of these mistakes and dilemmas, if I did that in business, 1, I'd be out of business. 2, you'd sue me. I would be sued for making those kind of egregious errors. How can the city do it and get away with it? We should be held accountable for this. Someone needs to get in there, like me, and clean up the books and hold the city accountable. I'd be happy to work with those that have a similar skill set, that understand a balance sheet, a profit and loss, hiring and firing, and to run a business. I'm not saying something I run out of my home. I have been provided a tremendous opportunity with creating jobs. I didn't wait on government to give me money to create jobs. I've been creating jobs since 1995. We can put a number to it. 5,000 businesses that I put in business in the city of Jacksonville that operate here at the beaches and all over the city of Jacksonville and surrounding counties. That's leading by example. That's being a leader by saying, I'm going to do it first. I'm not going to wait on government to do it, because government does not create jobs. Amen. Businesses create jobs. I'm going to work with the faith-based community to make sure they're not hurt by damaging legislation. I'm going to make sure that businesses aren't hurt by damaging regulation. I'm going to be the voice of the men and women of faith and the men and women that pay tax dollars into this city, much like my own. I will spend your money as it's my own. 20 years in business, I've been spending it pretty efficiently because I'm still there and it's flourishing. With that, I would love to be your city councilman as I seek to serve you at large Group 3 for the city of Jacksonville. Thank you.
Again, I appreciate the opportunity of being here with my family with us today. And, you know, I love the beaches. I love Jacksonville. That's why I first ran for office. Some would say, is he going to be a career politician? No. A public servant? Yes. When I ran for school board, I was out of office for 10 years or so, but education was so important to me. I wanted to see a strong school board to help make a difference, and we did. We raised our graduation rates. We lowered the dropout rates. These are things that you can help do as a city council. You're not the education czar as a city council, but there are a lot of things you can do with the Jacksonville Journey and other issues. Economic development. Government can create jobs. We brought 3 Merrill Lynch's down here. Big time. We kept National House here. We bought American Express, Universal Card. I could go on and on about the kind of jobs, because we have competition out there that another city wants to get. Look what the mayor just did with Volkswagen and the jobs that they're creating. Those are the things we can do. I will hit the ground running, rest assured, and day and night. But most importantly, we must have safety. We must feel safe. You must not be afraid to go out in your home, whether you're at the beaches or anywhere, north side, south side, Mandarin, or the west side of Jacksonville. We need a safe city so that we can have education in the daytime, that we can have economic development in the daytime, so that we can move Jacksonville forward. We've settled, and I do support the HRO. For those of you who may want to know, there is a difference between us and that issue. I think there is division in the city. I think there is discrimination in this city, and it goes beyond sex. It goes to every ethnic organization in Jacksonville. If we're going to be competitive, businesses will turn down this city because we're not. It's not. Every major city in Jacksonville has it. I don't need to be bringing that issue up, but I think it's important in the difference that we have. Not because it's a religious thing or it's not a religion. It's about what's right. It's human rights for all of us. Walking side by side to build the city we want for ourselves and our families, leaving absolutely no one behind. Thank you very much.
My name is Sam Newby, and I want to be your next city councilman, Group 5 at large. I see my daughter-in-law did making it. It's good that a daughter-in-law comes to their father-in-law, because a lot of daughter-in-laws don't come see their father-in-law, so I thank you for coming to see me. I have 3 major focuses. The first of all, community safety. Before Jacksonville becomes the great city that it can be, we have to keep our city safe. That's my #1 priority. We got to keep our city safe. We got to hone in our young kids, our young boys, our young girls, make them feel like they want it. Because the reason why they're doing this is because they don't have hope. And we got to give them hope. And as I'm city council, I'm going to mentor them myself. I'm going to come down from City Hall and I'm going to mentor myself. I'm going to be a part of mentorship program. And I'm going to encourage all the other city councilmen to mentor them. Because that's the way we get it. That's the way we get our kids. Because nobody is born bad. Situation makes people bad. The second thing is education. You know, in some parts of the city, education is fine, but in other parts it's not. But a city is only as great as its weakest link. So we got to get the whole city of Jacksonville education. And the third thing is business development. We got to get our more business, more small business that bring taxes in. My name is Sam Newby. I'm a Christian. Let's grow Jacksonville together and the beach. Thank you, God bless.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you. On March 24th, I received over 80,000 votes. 80,000 votes. And I think that tells me that the community has seen my work, they know my work, and you've done your homework on me. Tonight, I'm asking you to go back to the polls and vote for me, because I will make a difference. Some of the things that I have done in this community, I can't say that I'm going to start. I've already been working in the community. I've worked for the veterans in the community, developed housing. I have a farm program that are teaching elementary kids and their parents about nutrition and wellness. I have a partnership with Cisco Foods that we grow their foods and provides money for the Clara White Mission. I have a training restaurant in partnership with St. John's Episcopal Church. We've trained over 900 students with monies from Journey, and 70% of those individuals are still working in the community. I think that's pretty good. So I say this is because I think out of the box. I've used government money to leverage to get other monies to make a difference in the community. I've developed public-private partnerships that are making a difference in the community. I'm on a mission to economize, revitalize, and develop Jacksonville. And my philosophy, it says, do all the good you can. Y'all say that with me. Do all the good you can. In all the ways you can. Y'all not saying it like you mean it. In all the ways you can. For all the people you can. While you can. So you can count on me to develop and make sure and be a voice for you. Vote for Jacoby Pittman, City Council At-Large.
And I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight to learn from all of us, and for Beaches Watch for hosting, to give us the opportunity to share. When we have $1 billion annual budget, and the majority of decisions that we make for our city as a city council has a financial impact on us all, I would like to bring my 20 years of accounting, auditing, and business management experience to be one of the 19 people at the table making decisions for the city to lead us forward. And you can count on me to show up. You can count on me to read the legislation before I vote. You can count on me to make sure that I ask the questions that need to be asked, that I bring in the experts to make sure that I'm fully informed on the decisions that I'm making, and that I'm representing every part of Duval County. Anna Brochet for At-Large Group 1.
Sorry guys, it's my turn. Okay, please join me in thanking these candidates for being here tonight. We want to thank them for everything that they're doing and their willingness to serve us. And we also want to thank the Jacksonville Beach Elementary School, the principal, Ms. Leinhauser, and the Jacksonville Beach PTA, Jacksonville Beach Elementary School PTA. And then I also want to thank the Beaches Watch volunteers who were involved in organizing this candidate forum tonight. I want to remind you that the forum is being recorded and we will be posting it in the next 48 hours on our website. So if you know someone who is not able to be at the forum tonight, please encourage them to watch the video so they can learn and they can be make an informed decision when they vote. And then also I want to remind you that early voting is starting on May 4th. On Monday, and it will be going through May 17th. And if you don't early vote, please remember to vote on Tuesday, May 19th. So thank you very much for coming tonight, and I hope you'll stay, visit the Beaches Watch table, visit the candidates, as they'll stay here to talk with you and answer any questions that you may have one-on-one. Thank you again, and have a good night.